Have you ever wondered what you'd do if you were stranded in the most inhospitable environment on Earth with no help in sight? Imagine facing a brutal climate, bitter cold, and a ticking clock. A situation so severe that it pushes the boundaries of human endurance. This is not a hypothetical scenario, but a real-life nightmare that played out in the heart of the Andes. Now, let your curiosity guide you into the harrowing tale that unfolded. This is the chilling story of Flight 571, a tale of survival against all odds. On October 13, 1972, Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 embarked on what seemed like an ordinary journey. The flight was filled with 45 passengers, a motley crew of friends, family, and rugby teammates, each with their own dreams, hopes, and lives waiting for them back home. They were heading off to Chile, buzzing with the excitement of an upcoming rugby match. It was a journey filled with laughter, banter, and the friendly rivalry that only a sports team can truly understand. As the aircraft soared through the sky, the passengers were oblivious to the peril that lay ahead. They were like any other travelers, some lost in thought, some sharing stories, some simply looking forward to the thrill of the game. But then the unthinkable happened. The plane, once a symbol of modern technology and human achievement, turned into a death trap. Amidst the turbulence and chaos, the plane crashed into the unforgiving terrain of the Andes. In an instant, the joyous atmosphere was replaced by a deafening silence, broken only by the howling wind and the groans of the wounded. The once gleaming aircraft was now a mangled wreck strewn across the Andes, a grim reminder of the thin line that separates life and death. The crash was sudden, brutal, and utterly devastating. The passengers, once so full of life, were now face to face with their own mortality. The mighty Andes, once a distant spectacle, were now their cold, unyielding prison. In the midst of the wreckage and despair, the survivors clung to the hope of rescue. They believed that help was on the way, that they would be saved, that they would return to their loved ones. But as the hours turned into days, and the days into weeks, that hope began to wane. Little did the passengers know their ordeal was just beginning. Stranded in the frigid Andes, the survivors faced a harsh reality. Here they were, marooned in a hostile environment, their only shelter the skeletal remains of their aircraft. The biting cold was a constant adversary, gnawing away at their resolve, their strength, their very life force. The freezing temperatures were relentless, turning every breath into a visible reminder of their desperate situation. Food and medical supplies were scarce, if not non-existent. The meager rations they had salvaged from the wreckage were quickly depleted, leaving them with the ominous gnawing of hunger. Their bodies, already weakened by the crash and the cold, began to betray them. The lack of proper medical supplies meant that injuries, no matter how minor, became life-threatening. The survivors had to rely on their ingenuity and determination to create makeshift bandages and splints to tend to their wounds and to keep infection at bay. But the physical challenges were only half the battle. The psychological toll was equally, if not more, debilitating. The isolation, the uncertainty, the fear, they all played their part. The survivors had to grapple with the fact that they might never be rescued, that they might never see their loved ones again. The specter of death was a constant companion, its icy fingers reaching out to them in their most vulnerable moments. The silence of the mountains was deafening, amplifying every whisper of despair, every whimper of fear. It was a test of their mental fortitude, a test of their will to live. But even in the face of such adversity, there were moments of hope, moments of humanity. They found strength in each other, in shared stories, in shared tears, in shared laughter. They found strength in the knowledge that they were not alone, that they were in this together. As days turned into weeks, their hope dwindled, but their will to survive did not. They clung to life with a tenacity that was both inspiring and heartbreaking. Their struggle for survival was a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity, to the power of hope, and to the unyielding will to live. In the face of starvation, the survivors were pushed to the edge of human endurance. As the days turned into weeks, the harsh reality of their predicament began to sink in deeper. The frigid winds of the Andes were unrelenting, and the scarce food they had managed to salvage from the wreckage was dwindling rapidly. The survivors of Flight 571 were in a desperate situation. Their bodies were emaciated, their strength was fading, and their hopes of being rescued grew dimmer with each passing day. The survivors were confronted with the chilling fact that they were slowly dying of starvation. In the midst of these grim circumstances, a controversial decision began to take form. It was a decision that would challenge the very essence of their humanity, a decision none of them would have ever thought they'd have to consider. The idea was horrific, repugnant, and against every moral fiber they held. But it was also a potential lifeline in the face of certain death. The unthinkable decision they faced was to resort to cannibalism, to consume the bodies of their deceased fellow passengers. The very thought of it was enough to make their stomachs churn, but with each passing day, as their own bodies wasted away, the unthinkable slowly started to seem like the only viable option. This was not a decision made lightly. It was born out of sheer desperation, out of the primal instinct to survive. They were not devoid of empathy or respect for the deceased. In fact, it was their profound respect for life that led them to this extreme measure. They viewed it as a last resort, a grim necessity to honor the dead by using their bodies to preserve the lives of the living. It's easy to judge from the comfort of our homes, but put yourself in their shoes, stranded on a desolate mountain, with death knocking on the door. Can we truly comprehend the depths of despair they must have felt? In the direst of circumstances, the unthinkable became the only means of survival. After 72 grueling days, the world had given up on them, but they hadn't given up on themselves. The survivors of Flight 571 were stranded in a world of relentless cold and unforgiving terrain. The odds were stacked against them, but two men, driven by the will to live and the hope of rescue, decided to take matters into their own hands. Fernando Parado and Roberto Canessa, two of the youngest survivors, mustered courage and determination that belied their years. With the strength sapped out of their bodies but a relentless spirit burning in their hearts, they embarked on an audacious journey. Their mission? To hike through the perilous Andes, across a never-ending expanse of snow and ice to find help. The task was Herculean, the terrain treacherous, the conditions brutal. Their bodies were frail, their minds tortured by the ordeal they had endured, but they pressed on, driven by the thought of their friends waiting for them, their families praying for them. Every step was a testament to their resilience, every breath a defiance of their fate. For 10 grueling days they hiked, battling the elements, battling exhaustion, battling the creeping despair. They had no map, no compass, no guide, only their unwavering resolve and the stars above to guide them. And then on the 10th day, they spotted a man on a horse in the distance, a ray of hope in an abyss of despair. They managed to get his attention and he promised to return with help. True to his word, he did. The news of their survival shocked the world and a rescue mission was launched without delay. One by one, the survivors were airlifted from the crash site, their gaunt faces lit up with relief and gratitude. They had endured the unthinkable, survived the unimaginable, and emerged from the ordeal, forever changed. In the face of unimaginable adversity, the human spirit triumphed. The story of Flight 571 is not just a tale of survival, but of the indomitable will of the human spirit, a testament to our capacity to endure, to hope, and to survive. The story of Flight 571 is one of profound courage, resilience, and survival. This tale isn't just about a plane crash, it's about the indomitable human spirit that refuses to be extinguished even in the face of unimaginable adversity. From this event, we learn lessons that transcend the realm of aviation disasters. We learn about the strength of unity, the power of determination, and the importance of hope. When stranded on that icy mountainside, the survivors of Flight 571 didn't succumb to despair. Instead, they banded together, drawing strength from one another, and held steadfast to the belief that they would be rescued. Hope, it seems, is the most powerful survival tool. It's the light that pierces the darkness, offering a glimmer of possibility when all seems lost. It's the stubborn flame that refuses to be extinguished, even when the winds of adversity blow fiercely against it. And then, there's the human spirit, that indefinable essence that propels us forward, that makes us fight when we're cornered, that makes us cling to life when death seems certain. It's the force that allowed the survivors of Flight 571 to endure what they did, to make unthinkable decisions, and to ultimately triumph over tragedy. In the end, the mystery of Flight 571 is a testament to human will and the lengths we'll go to survive. We're capable of extraordinary things when pushed to our limits, and that perhaps is the greatest mystery of all.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.